Hi, my name is Nicolette, your appointed time doula, and today we're going to be discussing the maternal pelvis. Here I have a model, as you can see. The maternal pelvis is actually mobile. It can be if you're going to be delivering a baby. Your body produces something called relaxin, which softens up the joints and your cervix as well. That's how it dilates and makes some room for your baby to come down and descend through. As a whole, it's called the pelvic girdle, and it's made up of three bones. So we have the innominate bones, these two large bones on either side, innominate bones. We have the sacrum, which is an extension of the spine. It has these holes, so nerves run through them. And the coccyx, which is this little tail-like bone here at the bottom. You see? And it's actually about 4 to 5 vertebrae fused together, but they're not considered vertebrae. And in obstetrics, we talk about
That's called a hip.
this is the hip bone. So if you put your hip here, if you put your hands on your hip here, what you're actually feeling is this, which is called the iliac crest.
Well, I touch that every time.
Okay, you want to feel it? You want to feel it?
You see me feel my bone?
Yeah. Very good, Ronnie.
See.
Yes, I see. And in obstetrics, we talk about the true pelvis, which is these three bones. We have the pubis,
I know that one.
okay, the sacrum, and the ischium. The innominate bones are actually made up of three bones fused together. We have the ilium up here at the top. We have the ischium here, and we have the pubis here. And here, right here, this little hole, this is a hole for the femur to fit in. This is the acetabellum. And the baby comes in through the brim, through the cavity, out the outlet. But the pelvis is not a straight and narrow path, as you could see. So what the baby has to do, the baby has to turn while in the pelvis to come out so the baby could fit. So the baby's head comes in through here, turns on a 1/8, puts his face up against the spine and extends out and comes out that way. Isn't that cool? And the crazy thing is that the baby's head only moves, not the body.
Why?
And there's some misalignment there as the baby's coming down. And as he extends out and is born, then he aligns again. Why? Because he can't fit through unless he turns.
It's not a boy.
Oh, it's a girl? Okay. And we talk about the true pelvis because these are landmarks that your provider can feel when they do cervical checks in relation to the baby's head to know how the baby is progressing and coming out. So we have, this is especially important, the sacral promontory. It comes out a little bit so you could feel that.
I know that one.
You do? And then we have the ischial spines, but specifically, you know that one. I know you do. You're so smart. These right here sticking out.
I know that one.
And then the pubic bones. Now, you may hear your provider speaking in terms of stations. Okay, you could come in. But you have to be quiet, okay? Because you're learning, right? Or you know all of this already?
I know all this.
Yeah, I figured that. So your provider may speak of stations in terms of the baby's location within the pelvis. So some providers start with -5, some start with -3, and so on and so forth until we get to +5 or +3. So +5 or +3 would be somewhere above the pelvis, not in it yet. And they would call that floating. The baby's floating. And then once the baby enters into the pelvic inlet, then we would say the baby's at about -2, -1. Once we reach this area, we say the baby's at 0. So you're getting closer. And then once you pass these bones, down would be +1, 2, and then eventually 3, 4, 5, baby out. So if you hear positive numbers, that's a good thing. You're getting closer. Now, the reason that your pelvis is able to move is due to a hormone called relaxin, which softens the joints so that it can be mobile to help the baby get through a little bit. So it makes some adjustments so the baby could get through. You really want this to be freed up, so you don't want to be on your back.
Why?
At the ends when your baby's around here, because you want the sacrum and the coccyx to extend a little bit to make room for the baby to come out. So for my epidural girlies, get on your side. Ask if you could get on all fours. That will help you
My
do that.
back comes forth.
It does.
Yeah, it comes back and forth.
Back and forth, right. And then if you're at home, you could be standing if you're not too tired yet. And that's a different video to talk about positions in order to help your baby to come out. But the pelvis is attached to the muscles that connect to the spine, the abdomen, and the legs. So all those things we can kind of shift around with our body to make some room for our babies. One moment. So your midwife or your OBGYN can not only feel where your baby is when they're doing checks, but how the baby is presenting, which means which part of the baby's head is leading based off of the skull. Just as they feel certain landmarks within the pelvis, they could feel certain landmarks on the baby's skull to see if they're descending correctly or in the best presentation for the baby's descent. The best position that you want your baby's skull to be in, is a vertex presentation, which occurs when that part of the fetal skull is leading, which is the right way. And the pubic bone here is connected by the pubic symphysis, this joint here. I'm trying to think about what else I should tell you about the pelvis. I think that's about it for right now. Okay, thank you, Ronnie, for being my assistant. You gave me back labor, right? So you weren't presenting the best way. You weren't pushing up. You weren't turning the right way.
What? What?
Your head was not the right way.
Why?
I don't know. You were pushing against here. I had back labor. Your head wasn't the right way coming down.
Why?
But you're just perfect, right? So it was fine. Okay, that's it for today. Thank you.